The truth about the flat Earth. Earth is made up of three elements: rock, soil, and on the surface of it, it is covered with ice. These three elements are formed together that make up the giant Earth. All the planets in space rotate around it. On the surface of Earth, it is flat and it is where we live. With the coming of the sun, it melted the ice and it turned it into water. The water then flowed up to Antarctica. The part of Earth that was covered in ice rose above the surface of the water, and it is where we humans live today. The other part of Earth, from Antarctica and down, the ice remains solid due to the lack of exposure from the sun. The moon, the sun, the planets, and the stars are close to one another, and gravity is what keeps them tied together around the giant Earth, which they rotate at the speed of 1,000 miles per hour. Earth rotates in the middle of the planets at 70 miles per hour around itself. This is the reason why we aren't able to feel the rotation because it goes slow, which allows all living things to survive. If the rotation of Earth were 1,000 miles per hour around itself and the rotation speed of the Earth around the Sun at 70,000 miles per hour, living things would not exist from the great speed that it is rotating at. How is gravity created in space? The force of the gravity cannot be felt, heard, or seen. The force of gravity is able to go through everything, such as humans, plastic, wood, glass, fire, water, etc., except metal, because gravity is created from metal. The Earth and the planets are made up of rocks and soil. Rocks and soil have a high percentage of metal in them, which creates gravity between the planets and keeps them moving. This is the correct gravity in space of our planet. All the planets around the giant Earth, which the Earth is in the center of them. Gravity does not hold us on Earth. On the flat surface of a mountain, we are able to stand there. If we go on the side of the mountain, we would fall. Why do we fall? Well, my question is, are we not on the ground on that mountain since the mountain is part of Earth? In case the gravity holds us on Earth, it should also hold us on the side of that mountain as well. The reason why we fall on the side of the mountain is obvious, because Earth is flat and the flat surface of it holds us above it. On the side of the mountain, we are diagonal, which causes us to fall. If gravity was the reason for it, we would feel ourselves and our bodies tighter and not as light as we do. The only thing we feel is the weight of our own bodies. NASA. Gravity is created from the planets itself. It only pushes and pulls with them and nothing else because the planets, stars, moon, sun are made up of rocks and soil. Whatever Earth has on its surface, gravity has nothing to do with it. Example of gravity. If we threw a rock and a leaf from a high distance, which would fall faster on the ground? Obviously the rock because it is heavier. If Earth were to pull them with its gravity, it would have pulled the leaf faster than the rock because the leaf is lighter. Everything that goes up must come down. The reason being is that everything is on the surface of the flat Earth and also from the weight of the object, which determines how fast or how slow it comes back down. Gravity has absolutely nothing to do with it. How low tides and high tides are created. All the water that the flat Earth has on the surface of it, the water moves 5 feet up and 5 feet down. The moon is the closest planet to Earth. With the rotation of the moon around the Earth, it tilts Earth very little on one side with the pushing gravity that the moon has with Earth. The Earth that is moving a little due to the moon, the water on the surface wants its level of water straight, which creates high tides and low tides. On the left and right, where the moon is straight vertically with Earth, the water goes down and creates low tides because the water goes where the moon has tilted Earth. The moon itself confirms high tides and low tides of the water. When the moon is in the south, the level of the water goes more high, which creates high tides. When the moon is in the north, the water level goes less high, which creates low tide. The reason for this is because the North Pole is in the middle of Earth, and the South Pole is in the ending of Earth. That is why the moon tilts Earth more when it's in the south, which gives us high tides. This is the only explanation for high tides and low tides. Airplanes confirm the speed of Earth. Here's an example. Rome to New York is 9 hours, but New York to Rome is 8 hours. New York to Sydney, Australia is 23 hours, but Sydney to New York is 21 hours. When we travel towards the west or the north, we take a longer time to get there. But when we are traveling to the east or the south, it takes less time to get there. Why does this happen when the distance is the same? Earth rotates from the west at 70 miles per hour around itself. The airplane travels at 500 miles per hour. When we are going from New York to Rome, we travel from the west to the east. Rome gets closer to the airplane because it is rotating from the west, and it shortens the distance of the airplane, which takes 8 hours. When we come from Rome to New York, the airplane travels from the east to the west, which the Earth is rotating at the speed of 70 miles per hour. New York is moving further from the airplane, which adds 1 hour to travel time. Now instead of 8 hours, it takes 9 hours. This is the proof that Earth rotates at the speed of 70 miles per hour instead of 1,000 miles per hour. An example of flat Earth. One airplane traveling from the equator and one airplane traveling from the south. Both airplanes departing at the same time, traveling at the same speed. If the Earth is flat, the airplane of the equator will finish faster because the airplane of the equator has a smaller rotation than of the south. NASA. It's that simple to learn that the Earth is flat by using two airplanes as an example. Please test this on your own. Life exists only on Earth. Only Earth completes all the conditions in order to have life. The moon, the sun, the planets, and the stars, with their rotation around Earth, with their gravity, with the warmth of their light, is what makes it possible for life on Earth. Only Earth can have this chance because Earth is in the middle of all the planets, which the planets are around Earth that are able to maintain life on Earth. In case that Earth didn't have the planets, the moon, the stars, and the sun around itself, there would be no life on Earth. No one should assume that there is life in other planets because the other planets have no kind of conditions to fulfill life. For many years and today, scientists say that there is life in other planets. This theory has never been discovered and it will never be discovered. It will forever remain a theory. NASA, this theory of yours cannot be tolerated in which of what you say. I just have one question for NASA with no disrespect. Is it because you don't want to, or is it because you don't know how to discover it? In case that you don't know, you should ask for help. In case that you do know, why wouldn't you speak the truth about the Earth that we live on? Most of the people understand the truth about Earth because we are in the 21st century and everyone has access to research. The theory that Earth is round was and still is the wrong theory. The evidence that you provide only shows that Earth is flat. NASA, humans are created on Earth, and we are all wanderers of it. We try to discover the truth for our own knowledge because this is our purpose. In case that someone before us was wrong, it was because it was all the knowledge that they had at that time. How long are we going to continue living in denial? Why should we continue living in the wrong today? The opportunity to discover the planets today is so much easier than it used to be. This is why first you should change your life in order to change the lives of the people who have been cheated on this theory. NASA, I'm calling you all so we can get together and change the wrong theory so we can decide on the truth the Earth is indeed flat. You do not have the courage because the theory that you keep leading on is related to business only. Where am I getting the courage to call you out? Do you understand that the flat Earth is what gives me the courage? Because Earth is in fact flat, and that is something I hold that gives me power. In case that you do not believe the Earth is flat, challenge me on my theory the Earth is flat, which I doubt you will be able to defeat me. Everyone who works for NASA today, like Brian Greene, Neil deGrasse, Michio Kaku, and many more like them who have passed, like Einstein, Newton, Galileo, despite them all, I would have had Giordano Bruno as my judge so he can see that I would be able to defeat your wrong theory. This is why we had to speak the truth about our life as it is on the flat earth, that the flat surface of the earth is what holds us on earth. I will close this with all my blessings. Thank you for watching. John Zogel. Filled with all my songs underneath and inside, just